Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Wishbeads podcast. This one should be called Family Style because at long last, I am having my dear mom, Billie, who you may know as Blink by Billie, which you're going to hear more about. I'm featuring her story because today is a very special day. Now, I don't want to give anything away because she's going to tell you all about it. But the whole purpose of the podcast, my podcast, and my work in the world is to inspire you to open your imagination, to awaken your heart's desire, to see what's possible to create in your life. And Billie, who is knocking on 80 soon-ish, um, continues to reinvent herself and to push herself beyond her comfort zone, out of her comfort zone. And that's where, the juice is, the magic is, because it doesn't matter how you define your comfort zone or how I define mine. What's possible lies beyond that. And that's not always easy. And I get it. It's not always easy. But the podcast is here. My work is here to show you examples of people who have used this process and changed their lives, and also people who have used their own processes, their own life experiences, and changed their lives. Why? To just give you that glimmer of inspiration for you to do the same. So today we're going to peel back the curtain a little bit and take you inside on Billie's journey and how she's showing up in the world and claiming her story and reinventing herself and getting it way outside her comfort zone. And you're just going to feel her energy of delight and wonder. And I bet that will, spark something in you. So without further ado, here's Billie. Well, at long last, Billie Fischer is joining me on the Wishbeads podcast. Hello, Mom.
So exciting.
Well, today is a really big day. And so I felt like in the interest of capturing this moment, it was high time that we shared your story because boy, we've been on this wish journey. Well, literally because you're my mom from the moment I was born. But I feel like there is like a theme, like it's never too late to wish and to evolve into this next version of yourself, right? And
Absolutely.
I am so flippin' proud of you for taking your art to the next level. And even though you have, me as your wish whisperer, kind of pushing you out of the nest and
You're my coach. Are you
yeah,
kidding?
but you can't make someone else's wishes come true. You can only encourage them to make their own wishes come true. And you're doing the thing. So
I'm
zoom us
doing it.
back and give us a snapshot of what happened today.
Okay, today. All right. Today, I said to my husband, he said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm launching my career." That came out of my mouth. Launching my career as an artist. So he goes, "Oh, okay." So he's my cheerleader too. So, all right. So I found out that the place where I take my Zoom classes, because from the pandemic, I started collage, one class, a collage class at the Brentwood Art Center uh, in 2020. It's a pandemic. I was tired of walking 10,000 steps a day to just calm myself down. But a friend told me about the collage class. I started that. And with that, I embraced every class I could get. I was taking 5 classes a day. I was taking watercolor. I was taking drawing. I was taking Procreate. I was getting too technical. Then, of course, I was doing abstract art and collage. Wow. My days were filled to the max. Now, may I digress to say I had at the time a small office. I had a small office in my house that was adequate for little me, but my husband had a big office because he's the guy, right? Anyway, he had the big office for whatever reason. But then I went to a wish circle and I had a vision. And my vision was that I had an artist studio. How do you make that happen? I mean, frankly, it was early on in this quote journey, so I wasn't exactly going to go rent a space. So my lovely husband, Steve, said, all right, you can have my office and I'll take the other office. Fabulous. So as you might be able to see, this is a big room that has a lot of capabilities to do all kinds of art. And I'm like thrilled to pieces with this space. It is amazing. So now, okay, I'm still producing all this art. My husband's going, what are we going to do with all this stuff? Well, of course, I decided that, okay, well, no, I didn't decide. My lovely daughter, coach, boss said, you need to get out there and do this. You need to do a street fair thing. So, okay, so we decided that Robert, Alexa's husband, and myself would we rent a booth in this Montana Art Walk, which, by the way, is taking place September 28th. And
Santa Monica.
in Santa Monica, right on Montana Avenue. So, okay, so that was a big step to say, okay, I'll do that. But then I heard about at Brentwood Art Center, they're going to have an art show featuring faculty and student art. Oh, wait a minute. Now, all of a sudden, I'm saying to myself, I can do this. So I wrote them back and said, can I, I'm a Zoom student, but can I? Yes, you can bring in your work. So I filled out all the forms and I decided on a price and I marched myself into Brentwood Art Center. First time I've been there was this morning. And I get out of my car and I'm starting to walk in and I say, I think that's the executive director. So I introduced myself. Are you Amy? And she said, yes. She, it was so dear. She walked in, she said, let me give you a tour. She said, I said, my name is Billie Fischer. She said, Billie Fischer, I know you. Well, of course, I've been a student for 4 years, but on Zoom. So she was thrilled to meet me. I was thrilled to meet her. She took me through the whole studio, which was unbelievably great, and introduced me to the other Brentwood Arts Center people who run the place. And so anyway, I'm going to be in an art show September 7th and 8th. I won't be there because I'm out of town, but I'm putting myself out there. Okay. Now, incidentally, the last class I had, which was actually Monday. No, it was yesterday, actually. In the class that we were talking about these ideas about art fairs, etc. And the teacher said, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to get prints made of your work. Now, I knew fellow students had done that, but I had never bitten the bullet yet. So, but I knew about this. It's called Sammy's camera. Wow. So I said, okay, all right, I'm just going to go there. So I pile up. I mean, I must have had 15 pieces that I took to Sammy's camera today. Because I hear they make these wonderful prints. He's really good at it. It's wonderful paper. So anyway, that was my morning. I met Ben at Sammy's camera and I said, Ben, putting myself in your hands. This is my first attempt, and I know you can do this because you are beloved by the people at Brentwood Art Center. So he's a young man, very cute, very nice. So boom, boom, boom. I am on my way, and I don't know if it's going to work or not, but why not? I decided I'm just going to put myself out there. Now, luckily, Alexa, you have been through this pandemic. So interesting. You came day 2 of, whatever it was in March. You said, Mom, you're going on lockdown. You and Dad you're going to just stay home. You're not going to see us. You're going to just stay at home for 2 weeks.
So bossy. So bossy.
I will bring you food, but you have to stay. Oh, okay. So of course, that was just the beginning. But Alexa also came up, okay, it went a little longer than 2 weeks, and
A
then
little
it was
bit,
a
a little
little
bit.
like 2. And then Alexa's feeling sorry for her mom, so that she's stuck and blah, blah, blah. That was before I found out about collage. So she came up with this idea for Wishbeads, that there could be a company called Bling by Billie that would be
Yes.
one of a kind bracelets.
Mm-hmm.
She said, Mom, I'm going to give you all the research beads that I've done, and just play with it. And, and I'll teach you how to make the string, the cylinder thing. Anyway, that was another start of another career of mine, a pandemic career. So Bling by Billie has been in existence now for about 4 years.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we do a collection every month, and uh, it's so fun because I get to play with Alexa, and we get to do the funniest things together, like naming these little bracelets and photographing them. And anyway, so that was another fun time I've been having. Due to the pandemic, many chapters have opened for me. It's
Ooh,
it's really
Mom, your story there's so many different avenues that we can talk about. But before we embark on any of those topics that are popping around in my head, I just want to acknowledge how totally, totally awesome and inspiring it is to see you so lit up and so embarking on taking the next step, the next action step. Because I know, having walked this path with you, that at so many junctures you felt a little bit, uh, I wouldn't say intimidated, but a little bit like questioning, like, I don't know if I'm ready to put myself out there, take a class or try this, or you felt that very natural human kind of uh, wave of resistance, inner resistance,
right.
and yet you did it anyway. And then it starts to build this momentum. So, here you are. Like, you've dropped your work off at a gallery show that you're not even going to be able to attend. You have another one already lined up. You've got prints in the works, business cards, postcards. Like, you're doing the thing. It's amazing.
Yep.
And how do
I
you feel? How do you feel right now? Can you describe that feeling?
oh my my grandsons would say lit.
Yeah,
I
I would agree.
slay.
Yeah.
I try to
You know,
always keep being with the lingo. Um, Today, yes, I feel so thrilled, so high. I'm really high on life right now. Actually, I'm usually high on life, actually. That's not unusual for me. But, you know, thanks to your giving me that gentle push often, I I I did say, well, why not me? Why can't I do that? I could do this, right?
right.
Like you said, it cannot hurt, even if nothing comes of it, or even if not one little print was sold. What's the difference? I feel so great about myself, period, because I did it. I just said, I don't care. I'm going to try. I'm just going to try, because why not? I'm
Mhm.
I'm 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 approaching 80 years old, and I decided I'm going to embrace that big time and say,
All right, when we have to highlight that to everyone listening, you are approaching 80 years old. And look how lit up you are.
well, yeah, that's true. It's
We're doing this podcast while I'm also recovering from some kind of upper respiratory thing. So
uh,
forgive the coughing. If for those of you watching this, I'm muting myself. But I love the fact, Mom, that and this is part of who you are. This is how you show up in the world. This is also why I am the way I am, because this is what I grew up with. This idea that why not you? Why not you? And giving yourself permission to walk in the direction of your dreams and your wishes and your goals, knowing that, yeah, you might fall off or it might not go as you planned, but the seeing, the desire to experience it is actually bigger than the voice to know. And it does help to surround yourself with people, or at least one good person, who gently keeps you going forward, you know, because to watch you step into this chapter of your life, it is inspiration, not just because it feels good to you and it's fun and you're doing thing, but wow, the ripple effect that you have on others, you actually will never know. Someone who's listening to this podcast or they're checking out your artwork, and you know that to be true because, forever your body has been your palette in terms of your fashion. Like, and
True.
and I don't know where, any place that we go, truthfully, we walk into a store together and everyone is asking you about your outfit. And it doesn't matter if it's like, a kind of fancier outfit, or you're literally are just got your hot pink Crocs on and some cool sweatshirt and some whatever situation. There's an energy that it's contagious, and it makes people feel good. And
It-
so it's like the more that you embrace that, rock that. And I do feel like, don't you think that like the older you get, the less you care about what other people think of you? Is that true in your experience?
uh, yes, absolutely, without question. I mean, I love to be edgy and I love to be a little bizarre, and I don't care. I have so much fun. That's my joy, is to pick out that crazy doodle outfit
Yeah.
and own it. And it's so funny because yesterday I was walking along and this woman's behind me and she goes, "Oh my God, I love your pants." And then I looked at her and she said, "Oh my God, the sunglasses, the whole thing. Will you be my stylist?" And I was like, "Wow, I mean, this is so cute."
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
"Thank you. You're very kind and you made my day."
And okay, so this happens literally all the time. So I want to throw something out there to my, my friends and followers, the people listening to this and watching this. There are signs happening all the time around us, giving us clues, omens, signs, whatever you want to call it, that are shining a light on what you can pay attention to. And so for you, artistic expression was also part of the alchemy of you stepping to your life as an artist, because it came so easily to you. You loved fashion. You always loved fashion, even when you were,
Right.
owning maternity stores and helping, pregnant women dress themselves. And when you, was flipping through the magazines of, Vogue magazine forever, just because it brought you joy. You used your
Little
body as a
teenage.
palette. Yeah, you used your body as a palette. And artist was just an extension of that. So for people wondering, like, what's my thing? What's my next chapter? What's my purpose or whatever? Pay attention to the things that are coming back at you as a reflection, because many of the things that come easily to us, we take for granted. We just take it for granted. And yet those are the things that are in the wheelhouse of your wish.
Right.
Does that feel appropriate, or does it feel that resonates with you?
Oh, sure. It's funny to stop and think about that because you're right. There's a lot that you take for granted. And, I just reflect on how fortunate I am. Really fortunate. One way I'm fortunate is to have you as my daughter. That's for sure. But it's all life's a journey. And you got to grab on and go fly with it, no matter what.
And go fly with it. Yeah. And I think that what happens is there's a process to it. There's a process. So what could begin like, just one Zoom class to do something with your time creatively, when everyone was in lockdown, cool. And then there's another process where you can start to take more, you change studios. Now you're showcasing your artwork. You can see behind you and all the paint tubes, and you gather your material, and then you get out of your comfort zone, and then, take a big leap that we actually did a photo shoot with an incredible photographer,
Right.
Anastasia Chomlak, who came and photographed you combining your fashion with the work that you did, created a whole story, created a book for you about that. And this idea of sort of putting your work out there in a way that is owning your story, owning your light, owning your your journey. Why? Because it's not just for you to step into that so fully, which is more than enough, but because it actually helps others. So, are you ready for our next chapter where we're going to push you even more?
I'm sure that that's coming. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
It is. We're going to talk about it now. Okay. So, I don't think
Oh
it was on
my.
the door. That was, I've told you a little bit about this before, and we're going to figure this out together. But everybody listening and watching, you can be a part of this, and here's how. So there's a new phenomenon which I think is actually awesome in a world that is obsessed with youth. How about if we spun that around and we became obsessed with people that are much, much older than us? Why? Because they have lived experience and wisdom that we need to cherish and honor and learn from. So there is a new phenomenon called grandfluencers. Grandfluencers are people of a certain age who are rocking their truth, their story, their light, their art, their whoever they are, on socials, in order to spread a little of their grand magic, with the world. So on your platform, Bling by Billie, I think part of that stepping into greater visibility is just playing with these platforms and just to see what happens. Like there's maybe there, there's just to see what happens because you have so much to share and in a way to inspire people. So why not give that visibility and see what happens? You never know.
Another challenge in a day of challenges. Why not?
Why not? I don't know really what it looks like. It's not, but anyone listening, you know what it begins with? Following Bling by Billie, because that's where you
Ah,
can find her on
great.
Instagram. Yeah. Full circle. We're going to bring it back to a plug. And at Bling by Billie, not only is she sharing her styles that she creates for Wishbeads, but really it is about featuring your art and where to find you and how you show up in the world and the lessons that you have to share. Um, because we're missing the boat as a society to think that we're chasing attention from young people. I love young people. In fact, what I'm taking on action on right now is teaching our youth about wishing. So believe me, I see the value in all of that and hearing their voices and supporting sort of youth from, the youth all the way up. But I think that we have really lost our way when it comes to really valuing the expertise that we can glean from people that have a much longer lived experience.
Well, I would, from where I sit, I agree with you. I really do think that that's true. I think that you do evolve as you go through the decades,
Yeah,
and and this particular decade, which involved the pandemic, was monumental for me.
yeah,
Really, like I I had to stop Soul Cycle and go to Peloton. I had to pare down that activity, but I opened up to so many more things.
yeah.
And I can't thank you enough for being the gentle wish person pushing me and for inspiring me and for coaching me because and you are my boss after all for Bling by Billie. And so,
Did you could show the award that I
oh my goodness,
that
wait,
you earned.
oh my
Yeah, hold
goodness.
on.
I have to say that I kind of hinted that I deserved this, but
Yeah,
here's my award.
there it is.
I
Billie
thought I was
Fischer.
only the best employee
Yeah.
of Wishbeads.
Yeah.
So I
We're a
kind of,
very small company,
yeah,
very small
but,
company.
but,
So,
so at Christmas time, I got this. Now, Alexa realized that this should not be an annual thing. So it reads Billie Fischer, best employee forever and ever.
forever
Thus
and ever,
requiring her to only have to buy one trophy. But
one
isn't it
trophy.
beautiful? It's quite beautiful. It's
It's
really,
nice. It turned out really nicely.
and,
Yeah. Has a little flair, a little
and
style.
you can see that it's very treasured because I have it right there in front of
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Now, Mom, I want to pivot a little bit and I want to talk about how you have managed the voices inside your head that have maybe questioned, can I do this? What has that journey been like for you of like feeling your fear, judgment, hesitation and doing it anyway? Because you still take action. And yes, I know you have me kind of coaching you through that. But what is that experience? What does that look like for you when you've thought like, who am I to do this?
yeah, no, I can't say that it was at all easy. Not at all. Not at all. I'll tell you the honest to goodness truth. You believed in me so much. And though I know you say about pushing, but I didn't want to disappoint you. I didn't.
Mm.
I'm your mom. I want to make you proud of me. So, okay, there she goes again. I call her my little idea machine. And, and she gets an idea and then she just kind of shoves me off the cliff and I go, oh, okay, I'll try. No, but it's true that after all of this, which is probably a real Wishbeads lesson, that in all of this, I became much more confident of all the things that she wants me to embrace. That I really started to, I would be in plenty of wish circles or wish moments. And then I said, wow, this is true. I can do this. I really can do this. And I don't have to worry about results because hey, who cares? You know, like I'm having a great life, a great time because I'm challenging myself all the time. And I gotta believe some good is gonna come out of this.
Well, a good has already come out of it.
Well, yes, it has
You know,
because I'm feeling so much more sure of myself and confident and the world's my oyster right now.
yeah. And there's
It-
so many ways in which, and I fall prey to this as well. The metrics in which we measure success are so limited, and we will never understand the impact that we have in the world, really. It's just we're not capable as human beings. There's no way for us to measure that. So why even bother trying? Because when you walk into a shop, whether I'm there to witness or not, or the other day, yes, yesterday, whatever, it happens to you every day. When people say, oh my God, I love your outfit, you don't know what kind of energetic imprint that makes on the person to be like, that's the coolest thing ever. This woman is just like expressing herself. Then they go back to their life, giving themselves a little bit more permission to express themselves a little bit more freer, more playfully, or something like that. It has a ripple effect that you just can't measure. So that's one thing. But going back to your kind of origin story with you as an artist, I believe it was a wish circle in which you left that experience, or maybe you shared in the context of the experience, this idea where the power of your words, when you said, I am an artist, that was the idea of saying yes to you, even before you felt ready or you deserved it or you earned it or all the things.
Right.
You close the gap between wanting and imagining and then claiming it. And that's a very key component to wishing because you see something, you see it, you want it, you know it, you want it. And then you have to just own the fact that that is who you are. You put a pin in the map of where you're going to, and then you energetically claim it in the now.
God, that's so true. So, I love it. You described that so beautifully. Yes, because it was very scary to me to say I am an artist.
And
Now
why?
I
Why is that?
I don't
We
know.
we do it. I'm a best-selling author. I'm an internationally, well-known speaker. Why is that so hard to say? We have to say it to become it.
Right, right. And to
And
own.
it was very interesting last night. I'm going to give you a little confession. Last night before I went to bed, I was doing the thing where you scroll on the little rectangle, looking at stories, and I was watching what came up on my feed was some very upsetting news-oriented thing. And I found myself, I'm like very empathetic that way, but I found myself getting very emotionally triggered. And I said to myself, oh, no, 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 I can't have these imprints in my mind and heart before I go to sleep. So I said, if I'm going to do this, I have to now see something else that's uplifting. And so on my feed, so I kept looking until I find the right message to end on. By the way, friends, that's a tactic. I also read a spiritual book after that. But anyway, I found a message from a woman that I follow. And she talked a bit about this idea of permission. And I want to repeat this. She said she was doing some executive coaching with some women in the corporate space. And they were all talking about how they wanted more recognition. They wanted to be paid more. They wanted different opportunities. They wanted, these other things in their careers. And she said, okay, well, if you're waiting for someone to give you permission or give you the opportunity or ask you if you want to have more money, you can wait forever. You have to just be those things. You have to be the things, make the opportunities happen for yourself. Then people will know that that's who you are. So if you're asking for permission, the woman said, fine, I give you permission. Give yourself permission, but now go do the thing. And my God, it was like, boom, that was the imprint. Then I'm rereading The Alchemist right now, which is a wonderful book. So I read that. I go to sleep. I wake up in the morning and I said, that's it. I want to reignite my commitment to teach teens, bring wishing to teens, to young people in schools. And I contacted 2 people today. I just said, I'm not going to create some fancy presentation deck or, go through. I just call them. These are people that I know that I've worked with in the past. It's time to reignite all this stuff. And wheels are in motion now again. Wheels are in motion. If I want the thing, no one is going to come and ask me to create the thing. I create the thing. I
Right.
step into it. And I think that overarching is something that is such an inherent part of the work that this is. The wish is just the gateway in. And I, for one, number one, you don't have to perform anything to get my approval or my respect. You have that in spades already.
I know that,
You
but
know, if that's some kind of motivation for you, great. Because whatever motivates you, keep doing the thing. But my hope is that you keep expanding what's possible just to enjoy the game of life in as rich and a dynamic and as infinite way as you can. So that when you leave, and we're all going to leave, you get to say, I came and I did the thing.
well, I would say most definitely I'm doing the thing.
You're doing the thing.
I'm doing the thing and I'm feeling great about it.
Amen. And that's the energy, hopefully, that people will feel even listening to this, is asking yourself, what's the thing that you've always wanted to do, i.e., your wish that you came with tucked inside your heart that you haven't done yet? It's never too late. Never.
Right, exactly. And you can keep evolving and it could be something else, some new challenge.
Right. So there's no one wish or a genie is going to give you 3 wishes, an infinite wishes. But there's something about the process that walks you through it. And then you keep expanding what's possible. And then you do that and you say, okay, now what's next? Oh, I did that. Okay, now what's next? So
Yep.
logically, speaking as your wish whisperer, sure, you can have, an e-commerce site where people can buy your prints and have a little taste of that Billy magic. You could style people. Hell, that's something you could do. Everybody would want a little piece of that Billy style, right? I mean, there's so many ways that you can explore this. It just never ends, but it should come from that place of joy and building those wish muscles.
Well, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's
Oh,
do the thing.
I love
That's
it.
what I have to say. So, for anyone listening, recap, follow Bling by Billie on Instagram. There will be more later, but you're going to see some exciting stuff coming on that platform soon. Come to the Montana artwork if you are in Southern California. It is Saturday, September 28th. On Montana Avenue in Santa Monica. It's actually an amazing event. They close off the street. There's tons of music and amazing artists. And follow along on this like wild ride. Before we go, Mom, I want you to share one other thing. Okay. So I want you to share the hair story and take
Oh,
us back a little bit
yeah. Okay.
about your original wish and
Yeah.
how wishes can show up fast forward into the future. It's so good.
Okay. As I grew up, my passion at the time was dance. And I totally immersed myself in ballet, modern. I did tap dancing. I mean, that was my life. I did manage to go to school, but after school, I was just possessed with dancing. And my dream, of course, would be to somehow dance as a career on Broadway, say. So, okay.
Say, like, be a dancer on Broadway.
Yeah. Cut to life. I did take a gap year where I did a whole year of dance in Palm Beach at the Imperial Studios of Ballet, which was really wonderful, and ended up teaching for the Rebecca Harkness Ballet in Watch Hill, Rhode Island. It was a fabulous time I was having, and I didn't want to go to college because I was really loving what I was doing. But I had a very powerful mother who said, oh no, you're going to school. So I went to Northwestern and ended up getting married and having children, and dance was not an option at the time. But it so happened that actually in college, I had seen it came out on Broadway, the production of Hair. And I had seen that. In fact, had to write a paper on it as a young school person. And so then again, Hair came out again. Okay, now it was like maybe 10 years ago. And it came out again. And I was with another couple and my husband, and we decided we would go see it because we all remembered it from back in the 60s. So we went, and I don't know. I noticed at the end of this wonderful production that they were kind of bringing up stairs up to the stage, and I had very good seats, but I was kind of in the middle. And then it occurred to me what was going to happen. And so I literally climbed over all these people so I could get to the stage, so I could be on Broadway. This makes me cry. I ended up with the star of the show with his arm around me. Now, there were plenty of other people who came on stage too, but he was with me, and he says, come on, we're going to bring it home. And I said, oh, it's my dream. I'm looking up at the whole, the balcony. I mean, there I was on Broadway. Wish came true. Check. And so anyway, that was so fun. I'm sorry, I do get crying. I get teary because
That's because that's the energy of making your wish come true. There's so many things that I absolutely love about this. Number one is that your wish can evolve over time, and that your connection to dance evolved. So yes, your life took a turn. You got married, you became a mother, you became a career woman, you opened up maternity stores. But then there was a little interim thing that happened once you sold your stores. You actually became an aerobics instructor. And then you integrated dance into your life in that way, which brought you a lot of joy and new friends and a new experience in your life, which was very invigorating. And then it also, dance was something that, you enjoyed doing socially. You and Dad are amazing dancers, when really amazing dancers, like so much so that, people would like clear the dance floor when you guys would take the dance floor, which is great. And then being physical was something that you loved, finding joy being at Soul Cycle and now Peloton, and you're all in on that. So tapping into the thing that brings you joy, no matter what capacity it is, amazing. But what I love about the Broadway story is that you had prepared yourself so that when life opened the door for you, you actually didn't think. You knew. You looked for the sign and your body knew. And then you didn't have to think. Your body got you out of that seat, clawing over the people so that you could take the stage, center stage. And the bigger part of your body was like, drink this in, Billie, because this is when you're bringing your wish home to your heart. And that's why you're
It's such a
emotional.
fabulous moment for me. And it's so funny because the other couple and my husband were like dumbfounded. Like,
Yeah,
what?
because who does that? Because you knew that your ability, and this is why I think you have to understand, you keep thinking that it's me just coaching you. It's me seeing you. That's what I'm doing. Because you're someone who knows what you want. You know that you're capable. You know that you have what it takes. So you already know. I'm just seeing that in you. But the piece of you that was so aware of that moment and allowing yourself the deliciousness of it, the satisfaction of it, that it is something that you're like, I did the thing. Now, what I also love is that in the production, they distributed these flyers, right? It was part of the production. That flyer that you then brought home as a memento of the experience now hangs in your closet.
Yes, it does.
And that's intentional. And that's actually what Wishbeads is all about. We need those visual reminders that remind us when we have those moments of doubt and wondering, and I don't know, should I do that? What do people think? Am I capable of it? Whatever. Um, we need those reminders to anchor us into the belief of totally, I can do this. I did it before. And we also can drink from that energy. And what does that do? It fills our spirit back up so we can get back on our horse and ride. That's what my cousin Jen always says. Alexa, you make me feel like I can get back on my horse and ride. So I love that story so much. I wish I was there to witness it, but it's so alive in your telling of it that I feel like I was there. It's so cool.
It was so magical. I can't even tell you. It was
Yeah.
like pinch me. I'm doing it. It's right there. Look at that crowd.
Yeah. It's amazing. So again, how do you measure success? You were successful in fulfilling your wish. It
Yeah.
showed up a little bit differently, and you don't regret the path that your life took, but you
No.
actually did the thing. You made your wish come true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the song, wasn't it Let the Sunshine In?
Yeah. Yep. But
And what you
I
said,
mean, go ahead.
well, and what you said, full circle, there's no mistakes. Let the sunshine in. And how do you feel? You feel lit.
Yes, exactly.
You let the
Exactly.
sunshine in.
Yeah, today's been a really wonderful day that, again, you feel that same kind of fulfillment.
Yeah,
Nothing really happened. It's just that I own my artist moniker.
you
I
sure
own it
did.
today.
Yeah. And a lot happened. You delivered your art to the studio. I mean, it's actually hard to believe that all those years you're taking Zoom classes, when the studio where you're taking them from, not all of your classes, but one of them, you hadn't even set foot in.
No, because as you can see, I have a wonderful studio here, and I didn't want to have to carry stuff to the place. I
Yeah.
can bring stuff here. And it was funny when I went to this Sammy's camera, which was just a gigantic factory building, and I gave him my work and I said, "Do I have to leave it here?" And he said, "Well, yes." And I said, "Well, they're like my children, so it's a little hard for me." But okay, you go for it. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was so excited about the whole thing, and then to think I'm walking away from all of this work, but it's going to come back great. It's going to be
Yeah,
so fun. I'm
it
very
is.
excited. And
Yeah.
And I really thank you because I love all the opportunities you've given me.
Well, we're in it together, like
Yep.
in more ways than one. So we continue to learn from each other. And you've been a huge supporter of mine. Like I can't even tell you so many ways. So it's a mutual admiration society, and I feel so blessed to have such wildly unwavering and unconditional love and support from you my whole life, and even in all of my creative and entrepreneurial endeavors, that's given me permission to keep pushing the envelope and keep paving and new paths for myself and the work that I do in the world and who I am and support with my family and all of it. It's a lot. So the appreciation goes both ways. Um, and I'm just so excited to see what's next because we're doing the thing,
Okay.
both of us.
Okay. Let's get on that horse and ride.
Ride, baby, ride. So we decided to jump in, capture the energy of today, do a podcast. So this is the month, we're entering into fall. There is the fourth quarter of 2024, this absolutely wild year of wildness, but we're going to keep putting some light and love and artistic expression into the world.
Well, I'm with you, babe.
Let's do it.
For it. Okay.
Let's do it. Well, thank you, Mom. Be on the lookout for Bling and all of her magical ways, people. Follow her. She's a born grandfluencer.
I love the grandfluencer moniker. Very funny.
Amazing. Amazing.
But sure, let's do it. Okay.
Let's do it. Okay.
Thanks. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So you know what to do. Go ahead and follow Billie at Bling by Billie on Instagram. And also, talking about just doing the thing, we only have a few more spots left for our Costa Rica retreat. And I am psyched to say that Billie is going to be there. So, as we talked about on the podcast, that surrounding yourself with people who can lift you up, that can coach you through, that can see things for you that maybe you don't see in yourself is a critical part of the journey. It's a critical part of how you expand what's possible for yourself in your mind's eye, but then really the people who can give you feedback and support to make it happen. It's kind of special alchemy to that. So if you want to surround yourself with the most incredible people, because we've got incredible people coming to our Costa Rica retreat that I'm co-hosting with Christine Carlson in Costa Rica in March of 2025. It's called Don't Sweat, Wish Big. And Chris is just a dear friend and an incredible thought leader, New York Times bestselling author, been leading retreats for over a decade. She and I are up to some really creative, transformative work together. And we're going to be leading this retreat at the remarkable Imiloa Institute in Costa Rica. So I'm going to provide a link in the show notes. And if you want to supercharge your wish, my friend, this is for women only. I'm going to be leading a co-ed version in 2026, but then sign up and join us because it's going to sell out. We're almost sold out, but I hope you can come and feel the magic yourself. But until then, stay positive, stay amazing, keep wishing. It is never too late to change your story, rewrite your story, create a new story, storm Broadway, whatever you want to do, you can. All right, friends, until next time.